Well, Stephanie, it's interesting that you allude to the double standard there between what happens when people do business with the Bidens versus the Trumps, because the Treasury Department, I think this is fascinating, has now agreed, finally, to let the House Oversight Committee review suspicious activity reports relating to President Biden's family. And overnight, the Republican-controlled House Oversight Committee released bank records that seemed to show Biden family associate Rob Walker used his company to transfer funds from a Chinese energy firm to Hunter Biden, James Biden, Haley Biden, and a fourth unknown Biden. Now, Adam, when Trump was running for president, people freaked out at the thought that he might have a Russian bank account. How do you see this all playing out? Is this a walls closing in sort of thing, or is it just nothing to see here?
No, look, I think it is the walls closing in for sure. It looks very suspicious. I think there's something like 150 of these reports, these suspicious activity reports about the Biden family, and they've been under wraps so far, but the House committee is finally going to get to have a look at them. And it seems just based on what's already been released with this transfer of $3 million to the Biden family, there's no explanation why that is. Why would that family be receiving that money? They don't sell anything, they don't make anything. And perhaps it's for influence peddling. That seems a possibility. And if that's the case, then that is extremely corrupt and far worse, I would say, than whatever Donald Trump did. In fact, just in terms of Trump's finances, I mean, they tried to ping him down on so many things, but they never really got him on anything. This is far worse if true. So it remains to be seen. And I mean, it could be so bad that it derails his presidential chances.
Well, and Adam, tell us, what exactly are these suspicious activity reports? For people who don't know, these are things that banks file to the government to say this just looks a little fishy. Is that what it is?
Basically, that's right. Look, I don't know the technical rules, but banks would have certain rules about large amounts going from certain companies to other people, maybe across borders, and they'd be flagged automatically, and then a bank clerk would look at the transaction and they'd write up a short report. But I mean, the fact that there's been 150 of these just for the Biden family is extraordinary.
And the Biden family is now, Adam, in the sights of a congressional committee with Hunter Biden now looking at him. They're tightening the screws on Hunter's art dealer. And I think this is really interesting to turn over information about who bought the finger painting works of the president's son and how much they paid. Is the suspicion here that basically this was a way to influence the Bidens by buying this art, if art is not too high a word for that?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's basically money laundering, right? I mean, at least that's the accusation here, that people are buying this art, so-called art, and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. But, what they're really buying, obviously, is access to the vice president and influence in the Democratic Party. And it's interesting that the art dealer, I think, has refused to release the buyers of the art, which, of course, could be very damning because they may well be foreigners or, Chinese, Ukrainians, whatever. But it's interesting that the buyers' names have been withheld.
Well, I love the idea here that maybe, in Xi Jinping's palace in Beijing, he's got over the dining room table a great big Hunter Biden mural, like the Last Supper in Milan or something like that.